And we're live. Hello, welcome to a Creators Roundtable. Super exciting. So now I want to point this out. I think it's very disrespectful that all you people are throwing your indie comic books on the floor and taking pictures of them. They belong on a table. You want it to be a real challenge, then you do this. You get together with your friends and you talk about the amazing books you have, and that's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to start off introducing myself. We're all going to introduce ourselves, and then no more pitching our own stuff until the very end when we say goodbye. It'll be about pitching the creators' books that we bought when we were allowed out of the houses and were allowed to go to Comic Cons or on Kickstarter. Some of these books did come from crowdfunding. So I'm going to start off by saying my name is Mr. Anderson. I'm a creator of Fetish Monsters and more, and I'm a very proud part and creator and writer under Robert Gregory of this amazing title. And it is our sponsor for today, Cat Dad and Supermom.
An all-ages tale that teaches morals with farts and shows the power of imagination that will entertain everyone in your family, including the parents reading the book. Thank you for hitting play and allowing us to introduce you to Cat Dad and Supermom, the award-winning Farts with Morals storytelling awesome adventure that people seem to love. And we could keep going that way. We could use words that could try to get you to be excited and convinced to buy it, but I'd rather just be honest with you. I'd rather be humble with you and tell you why I created the story. You see that little boy over my shoulder, right over there, and the other side, the Supermom, and the big elephant that farts? All of that is based on my boy. He's a special needs 5-year-old who I love with all my heart. And he has made me a better man and has taught me what unconditional love is. So if this story is about him, the standard had to be higher. That's why I got one of the best artists in the world in Raheel Mohsin. I got Chuck Pino, who's done such great work as an editor and as a writer himself, to be part of this. Both of them became co-creators because of how much passion went into this. It was about passion for creating a top-notch story that was meant to entertain your entire family, and I think we did that. The rest, they're all keywords. They're all ways to convince you to do it. Truthfully, this is a story that matters to me, and it had to be one of the best stories that I wanted to share with you. It advocates for people who get bullied, and it advocates for the right things to do when you see someone get bullied. It advocates for being a better human being, but it also represents my son. And because of that standard, because of the fact that my son is in this book, it had to be one of the best things I could create, probably in my entire career. Anytime my son is attached to something, it is that high of a standard for me. So if you're looking for a reason to back this Kickstarter, it's because, well, because I love my son, and I wouldn't put anything out with his name on it that wasn't amazing. Thank you for watching, sharing, and backing Cat Dad and Supermom, and Ella Fart never forgets.
I love the fact that Jax got caught at the very end of that.
Yeah.
It's about him. And I love the fact that I can now have a video play while I'm in the background doing something, not staring down. Because every video I'm staring down and I'm like, oh, so horrible. We'll start with Mike the Superman, because we got the big S right above his head. That's perfectly placed, by the way.
Took a lot of timing on it to do it. So I'm an artist. Am I just like introducing myself or what?
Get him to love you like I love you. You know, show off those teeth, that smile. Tell them how they can follow you.
All right. So I'm Mike, and I do comic book art. I've done some stuff for some independents, for some cover art, just some interior, a little bit of interiors. I'm working on some personal projects finally. Me and Rob, he's the writer on it. Some of the ideas and stories that I had since I was like 17, and I'll just say I'm a little bit older than 17 now. So, but you can follow me at Mike_MJS art, and see what I'm doing as far as art goes. I haven't released anything as far as my indie project as of yet. There's some stuff developing, but it should be releasing soon.
How you doing, everybody? This is JD Calderon, and I'm the writer and creator of the Oswald Chronicles and Tall Tales. And my work can be seen at theoswaldchronicles.com or talltalesonline.com.
Hello, everyone. I'm Varian Grant. Co-owner of Last Call Comics and founder of Indie Volt Media LLC. I started making comics way back in 2008. I am a father, a husband, a publisher, a artist, a reluctant taxpayer, all that good stuff. Shamefully not in that order. I'm happy to be here today.
All right, ladies and gentlemen watching at home, anyone who wants to be part of this, I will throw a comment in. You can bring up one comic book because you didn't make the beginning of the show. So if you're a fan of something and you want it on the show, you can come in and pitch one book and one book only. These four are, counting me, I get to be one of them, are going to be doing a round of, we grab a book, we talk about it, we tell you who does it, you go out and find it, and then the next person goes. This is about our love for comic books we didn't create and how much we support comics. People started this indie challenge thing. I think me and Varian were talking about this. I would have to take up my whole house. Literally would have to take up my whole house. I have a huge long box. This took me 2 minutes to go into the other room, just grab a chunk. I don't even know what's in it. So we're just going to randomly see some cool stuff. Few things I know I grabbed for certain. Which one I'm going to start with is Belial. Ooh, it's better if it's right side up. So Belial is by Chuck and let's read the names. Sean Barber, Chuck Pino, and Warchek. I forgot what Warchek's first name is. And he's on my friends list, but I don't know him too well. Amazing book, still in the bag. I read the PDF file on this one. Super amazing creative team. It's about the gates of hell and hell being fought over, who gets to run it and be in charge of it. I love it because of that little guy right there, Link. He's an amazing little imp that makes me surprised. Chuck does an amazing job on it with some of his best writings. You can find it over by going to Chuck or Bonfire Press and just ask Chuck for a digital copy of it, or to have him send you one if he can get you one with everything that's going on right now. What do you got, Mike?
Oh, my book. Okay. So this one's an old school. This is kind of not old school, but more classic. I don't know if you guys remember CrossGen Comics when they put together a group of some, I feel like it was a rich guy who got together some really talented artists. But I've always been a big fan of Bart Sears. He's like a huge unknowing mentor. I told him when I've actually met with him and talked to him for a while. But The Path, I don't know if anybody remembers that. It's a book that's in China, ancient, during the different dynasties. The mood and like the character, the stories is like amazing. I just love that, the art of it and the overall just mood of the whole comic book is really good, and the art is superb. But like I said, I'm biased to Bart Sears, and because he's been a huge fan of mine for since I was a kid. So
this is exciting. This is our first round, guys. This is like the NFL draft. We're showing you our first draft picks. So, Varian, who's your first draft pick in the Indie Challenge?
Well, I noticed that you said we couldn't do any of our own books, so I'm gonna get rid of this large stack here. And actually, I'm gonna actually show this one book here, Count Carlos, which I picked up from Anthony Figueroa in New Orleans. It's one of the first books he did. Count Carlos is about it's about Dracula and his son. Dracula fell in love and had a son, and pretty much has gone on. He's gone on to be pretty devout. He's actually a hippie, and his son is coming to terms with his vampirism, and not just because this book is really good, and I love Anthony's art in it, but it's also. It excites me for what's to come with Anthony's new book he's doing, God's Hand, which is, we've had it on our show before, but I think that if anybody wants a good read, first issue, Count Carlos, Chronicles of Count Carlos, you can Google it and find it. It's a really good book. I enjoy it.
All right, JD, you get to end the first round. What do you got?
I got The Well Keeper by D. Fish. She's an awesome creator. You can find her on Facebook. Right? Getting used to this damn camera. But it's a story based around this character Z, and she is the new well keeper. So she's trying to find her new powers. Her grandmother was the original well keeper, and now it's her turn. and she's trying to find a way and fight off all of these evil powers. Excellent book. Go check it out. I think she has these done by Kablam, so you can order them from their service to get these.
What is the name of their service?
Indie
Planet.
Indie Planet. Yeah. You can get them off Indie Planet. She does. I mean, this book is excellent. She does a great job.
All right. That was a pretty good round one, guys. That was a pretty good round one. Let me see what I got for the round two. I got for you guys, and this is a good one. This is a good one. Boston Metaphysical Society. All right. And because I'm a fan, because this is how I roll, it's not one Boston Metaphysical Society I got. It's not two Boston Metaphysical Societies I got. It is several. And here are the other ones. Check all these covers out. So this is made by Madeline Holly Rosing, and she does an amazing job. Check out some of these covers. I mean, she kickstarts something, and the next thing you know, it's $10,000. It's $10,000. She's collected amazing art, great books. I'll be honest, I haven't even read all the issues yet. Not because I'm not a fan. I just don't always have time, and I was trying to collect a bunch of them together. And now that I've got them and we've had some time, it's actually, this was my reading list. So this just happened to be right there. I mixed in some of my reading list. You can get this, by the way. It just went to Source Point Press. But you can reach out to her. I think she's got some of the original ones on her own, too. Super, super awesome. And just a great creator, to be honest with you. Someone that, I mean, I aspire to be more like. Very professional, great art. And I'm just going to randomly crack open a page in one of the books and show you what we got going on. Check out that. So amazing, amazing stuff. Could not suggest any more that you guys got to get involved into it. Super great series. So here goes round two for Mike. Mike, are you ready?
Yes. So my next book is called Powerless, and it's from vaultcomics.com. I met them at San Diego Comic-Con, I think 3 years ago, and the story concept is like almost a little irony in it, in the sense that Powerless is everybody in the world has some kind of superpower, but a virus comes around and it's taking everybody's powers. So people no longer have the powers that they used to have, and it's like the main characters in a race to try to figure out what is taking it, what the virus is or the contagion that's causing everybody to lose their power. So I don't know, it's kind of a little surreal because of what we're going through, because we can kind of relate to it, but it's not a power thing. So the twist on it is very interesting like that. So really, really good read. I got I got 5 of the issues that I picked up because the first issue was a good read. I read it the night when on like the first or second day of San Diego Comic-Con, and then I went back and supported the guys and picked up the rest of the books because it was a good read and stuff like that. Because sometimes I'm leery about if the story's good enough for me to be interested in, but that was a really good story.
Super cool, super cool. And this time we're going to go with JD because for some reason you switched in the order on my screen. I don't know why.
All right, well, this time I got a Russ 5377. This is by Jorge Medina, good friend of mine. It's an awesome book. If you want to check, I mean, you want to look at some of the artwork. It's a lot of fun, a lot of cyborgs, a lot of fighting. Awesome book. George or Jorge can be reached on Facebook. So if you want to reach out to him, he can let you know where the book can be purchased. Sometimes he's a little mercurial, but you can get a hold of him. He's mad cool, that guy.
All right. And last one for this second round is Varian. Who do you got for us?
It's gonna be Motor City Mo from Three Wise Men Media. This book is about Maurice Motor City Mo. I think it's Goldman. It's funny because Goldman. He's hit rock bottom. He gets hired for jobs, and the weird thing is about Mo is that he cannot die. He's tried several ways to kill himself. He desperately wants to die. Desperately. And he keeps getting these jobs, and it just keeps taking him deeper and deeper into just how bad the world can be. It's a really good read. I like the art, and I like the guys who put the book out. They're a group of good guys. Yeah, and I like the art too. I'm a fan of like the Nora style art they have in here. It's a really good book. I should say pick it up. Motor City Mo. You can get this cover if you want to. This is the adult cover.
Of course,
cover.
Varian brings in the adult cover. Look at him, all happy. Look at him himself. He's all happy with himself. all right. Enough of that. Break it up. For my next book, and this is definitely a first round contender, but I sometimes you got to save the best for the middle of the show. So I wanted to bring up Stabity Bunny, and this is before he joined Scout Comics. Let me give a blow up on my picture. Here we go. Stabity Bunny. This is one of very many issues. This is not the Scout version. This is actually, I'm a little ahead because I'm a fan, and I even have the big trade of it. But there's also another one from this that I will be bringing up a little later. But I wanted to get this one in for the record. This is Stabity Bunny. You will see a very powerful one coming up, and I think I'm going to save that for the last round of the day. I want to make sure I get it in, but I'm saving the best for last in that. So I'm going to pass on off to, we'll go with Varian this time, just because he brought up the dirty pick. So I want to see where he's going next.
I'm going to go totally normal here. You guys are going to believe it. I'm going to go with Time Grunts from Evan Posios. I think that's how you pronounce Evan's name. Time Grunts. I got issues 1 and 2 from Caliber Comics. Love it. I do like the fact that this book has for me, it's one of those books where you can kind of get lost in it while reading. You don't want to put it down once you start. I like 2 pages in, you're already hooked, which is, I think, for anybody who reads comics, a sign of a good book. Sometimes I used to have a rule for a friend of mine. A movie had 15 minutes to hook me. A video game had about 20 minutes, and a comic could have 5 pages. This got me hooked in 2, and then I picked up the second one from Evan himself, which I don't think he's autographed. Evan. Yeah, so Time Grunts 1 and 2 from Caliber Press. You can definitely get Caliber Comics. You can definitely contact them, and I'm pretty sure this is on their website.
All right. Let's go with Mike. Mike looks ready to go.
All right. So the next one is Popova. The whole premise is she's an assassin that is like hired by women that are beat or are being abused, and so she'll actually take out their husbands or boyfriends that's been abusing them for years, kind of thing. So it's a very interesting concept. The creator is based out of, he's in Miami. I met him at Miami Comic-Con. I think it was MegaCon, but it was a very good read. I actually did some artwork for them, not in this particular book, but did some art for them. So I think they got 2 issues out. I haven't read the second one, but they have 2 or 3 issues. But it was very unique tone on it, very kind of tonally dark and noir looking. Little black and white. It's mostly black and white inside. Covers of color, but very cool story. And it's based off of something about a Russian girl that was actually really like that in real life. So that's where the story kind of sprang off of. So if you look up Popova, you'll find some information on that and the comic probably.
I just want to say that Varian stole my Time Grunts. I can't actually show Time Grunts now, so I'm a little mad.
Yeah, I had Time Grunts too.
Look what some more Scout stuff.
Yep, more Scout stuff. Metal Shark Bro from my friend Walter Osley. Awesome book about a shark who eats a musician who made a deal with the devil. So the devil makes sure the shark takes his place. So you end up with Metal Shark Bro. Awesome book. This book is just crazy. It's a lot of fun. This was actually, I picked this up on Kickstarter, but also done through Scout. So it's very easily accessible. You can get this book just about anywhere. So great book.
And we're going to skip my turn, and I'll be next. First, we got an upgrade to Varian Stream. There we go.
My pick got taken. She wants to show her favorite book.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, talk about it. Talk about it.
Oh, I haven't finished it yet, but it's about a necromancer, and she's like one of the last of her kind. People are after her, but she's also trying to find work, so she's like moving around and stuff. She gets into a lot of trouble.
And that's from Volt, right?
Yeah. Some
Yeah.
people die.
She picked that up in South Dakota, where it go. So she decided she wanted it. Can you leave now? Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Go ahead, do your pick, Varian.
Yeah. My pick for this one was Bobcat. The Bobcat. It's about Indian Territory back in 1898. It's actually a true-ish story. It's a tribal legend, which is really cool because there's not a lot of Native American stories. I met the writer, the creator, and he explained to me how important the story was to him and why he wanted to get everything as factually accurate as he possibly could. It's a good book. I like the art too. Again, lots of heavy inks, which is cool. Some parts are in color, some aren't. It's a stylistic choice, but I really like it, and I think that and it's this. I got the collection. This is issues 1 through 3. The Bobcat again on Caliber Comics. I swear I'm not a Caliber shield. I swear, but this is a good book. Pick that one up too. And I'm sorry I took you guys time, grunts. You gotta move fast around me. Gotta move fast.
I know, but speaking of moving fast, and look at me, I just got a delivery. I really didn't, but I hit the doorbell anyway for dramatic effect.
Yeah.
I did get this yesterday though, and Mike's gonna know who this is right away.
Yeah, I got mine yesterday too.
Right?
Yeah.
Beautiful package, by the way. This
Oh
doesn't
my
look
goodness,
serious.
phenomenal.
This looks like it'll bend in the mail, but you don't understand. You don't even have the concept of what's in here. Check this out. Styrofoam. How smart is that?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even fully styrofoam. It's like a styrofoam blend. Like it's more cardboard than anything else. This thing will take a beating. Got
Well
that.
thought out.
Yeah, I mean, really, really cool. And I got the Angel of Sand Hill. The only thing that's bad is that I got the Portugal version. So I actually have to ask him to send me a PDF sometime so I can read it. And we get to hang out. Me and Mike usually hang out with him once a month. And I think it's Peterson. Yeah. And I was so happy to see another human being. It was amazing. I was like, oh my God, I've got a guest. I was thrilled. I can't wait to read it. Had to give a shout out. We had to do mail call on this show too, proving that indie comics are not done. Indie comics haven't stopped. Pens aren't down. We're still doing what we're doing. And speaking of doing what we're doing, we got to bring in Mike to tell us what he's got going on. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, my next book?
Yeah, next book.
All right. He's like, what I got going on? So Torun Groenbeck, she's an artist and a writer. And this is more like it's almost like watching a TV series kind of thing called Ageless. And it's well written. She's a really good writer. She's an amazing artist. And it's not even like she's as much as a comic artist. She's a painter, but she's like even moved on to doing stuff for Marvel. And she's working on the Valkyrie book, from Thor spin-off kind of thing. And so she's a phenomenal artist, and she's a phenomenal writer, and she's been being utilized. And I think she lives in somewhere in Europe. I can't remember.
Italy?
Is it Italy?
It was something like that, because I tabled with her at New York Comic Con.
Yeah. New York City Comic Con is where I met her, and like we've kind of kept in touch, and we touch bases on Instagram, and she's just making moves, and she's like painting up a storm. Some amazing stuff she's putting out. So I just want to kind of give her a shout out on her Ageless book. She's got another book I read, but like I said, I think that was a couple years ago, so trying to remember the storyline on all of it. But really good creator, writer, all around kind of thing. So,
all right, JD, you're going to get 2 picks now, so you're both last and first this round. So go ahead.
All right, so Sean Wang's Runners. So this is volumes 1 and 2. These are awesome books. I mean, I would meet this guy all the time at shows, and I would pick up his individual books, the individual comics, and then he started putting out trades, and I started getting those. Recently did a Kickstarter for this one, which is in color. I already owned all of this in black and white, but I was like, you know what? Gotta have it in color. Sean Wang, fun story about a group of aliens. They're just smugglers, and their adventures, and it's just crazy. Beautiful artwork, Sean does some great stuff. You can look him up online. The guy is fantastic. Great book.
And your second book?
Oh, hold on. Oh, you know what? I got a second one.
Putting them on the spot now.
Serious. All right, here we go. Black Owl.
Ooh.
All right. So this guy, where's his name? Christopher Mills. I would see him all the time online on Facebook, and he puts out his books. And he's also on Indie Planet, so that's where I got this. And I just saw him, and I said, you know what? Let me check it out. I really like the artwork. It's like old school, like an old school Batman comic, you know, but just done with this character Black Owl. A lot of fun. If you like an old school comic, this is great stuff. You know, great colors, great artwork, great story. So this is the next one, Black Owl.
All right, we're gonna pass it over to Mike, so he goes second in this round.
All right, so the next book is called The Realm. The creators is Jeremy Hahn and Seth and Peck. It's called The Realm. I love like moody art in a lot of the and when the characters. This is kind of Book of Eli-esque. If you ever seen the movie, that it's like post-apocalyptic, dusty, dirty. Seems like nothing really works and nobody's building anything technology-wise, but people are just in the middle of old cities. As you see, and with bow and arrows as their weapons. So it's a really cool story. It's actually an Image comic, so I don't know if that even falls under indie anymore. But the whole feel is. It's very much creator owned.
Yeah.
And they did. I think they had like 5 issues, and I haven't seen anything since then. But really good read. And like I said, if you've ever seen Book of Eli, it's got that tone to it.
They probably got that indie or that Image money and realized it wasn't worth doing anymore.
Yeah, probably.
This is true.
Varian Grant has a screen for us, so we're going to screen this out. All right, let's go.
My next pick isn't a physical book at all. It's on Webtoon, so you have no excuse not to go check it out. It's free. It's The Dreaded Dinosaur Man from Eric Hodson, and it's free. It's on Webtoon. It's a really good book. It's about a guy who has no memory but wakes up with a dinosaur's head, and he's like a bounty hunter, a badass. Think He-Man, Conan with a dinosaur head. It's pretty cool. It's a good book. I love Eric's art in this book. It's Eric's love letter to the 80s. So if you like that type of stuff, you like He-Man, you like Conan, you like a lot of those 80s staples, this is a pretty good book. And I've been telling Eric for a while, I need a Dinosaur Man toy. My son actually has a Dreaded Dinosaur Man poster. Eric personally made for him. It's about 4 feet long. Dinosaur Man jumping off a cliff, and has it in his room, which so I see Dinosaur Man pretty much every day anyway. But yeah, it's a gorgeous look at the color. And it's free. It's free. You don't even have to pay for it. Eric's got 2 issues right now up. I think he's going to do the 3rd one very soon if he hasn't already started working on it. Again, very good book. Go check it out on Webtoon, webtoon.com. Yeah, and just look up Dread Dinosaur Man. You can even subscribe to it so you don't miss any issues.
All right. And I'm going to start trying to tag the creators as we're mentioning if they're on my list. I'll go next. And we have another mail call this week, or might have been last week, to be honest with you. But bittersweet moment. I got the soul man, Rocky Johnson. And for many of you, you know that he passed away just recently. I actually spent the last birthday he ever had with him at a con. And this was, of course, The Rock's father, the soul man, Rocky Johnson. We share a birthday, and every birthday I have now, I'll think of him because that was the first birthday I'd had in a long time. It was really awesome. He wished me a happy birthday. I got to wish him a happy birthday, and he is missed. And of course, his legacy is going to live on thanks to Squared Circle from our good friend and creative team, John Crawford, Del Barris, and Andrew Pakes. I want to give love to all of them, but of course, good friend of mine is John Crawford. He's been in the Advocator with us, which I'd love to pitch the Advocator, but it's technically mine. So if anyone has it, by all means, do it. Mike, you have the Advocator? I mean, what's your next pick?
My next pick is Dread Gods. It's actually produced by, it was actually published by IDW. But before that was independent. It's a book that Bart Sears and Ron Mars did. That it's kind of a different take on the Greek mythology with Zeus and Mercury, all the different gods and stuff like that. So really cool concept and idea. And like I said, the art is like phenomenal. If you like Bart Sears art, again, I always go towards him because I just always loved his muscle structures and everything like that. So I always looked at it as just the physique of it and the feel of it. I love all his stuff. So, I mean, it's not like the most amazing storyline, or most original storyline, but to see all the mythology stuff come to life, it's awesome. So.
All right. And let's see. We'll go with Varian this time.
Me? Oh, I feel so special. All right. So check it out. Apama. Good book. I like it because I actually the first time I seen Apama, I was at Space. Forget what year that was. Space and that down in Columbus, Ohio. Small press show. And I was amazed because they had the comic. They also had a movie on Blu-ray, and I thought that was fascinating. So I bought the comics, I bought the movies, and I followed the character ever since. This is a spin-off character they have. This is her first appearance, a tap dance killer, and they got so many letters about her and emails about the tap dance killer she was received so well that they actually launched a tap dance killer comic, which is what I also want to show, but I don't know where that copy's at. It's probably one of my long boxes bagged up right now. And you can see that I read this because it's not in the bag. So I've just read this again recently because it's a really good book. Apama, he's a character that he's wearing his spirit animal basically is the Apama, which if you don't know what Apama is, it's a mystical animal. It doesn't exist, but it is a mystical animal, and it's a really fun comic, really interesting story. Ted, can't think of Ted's last name right now. I can't think of it. It's probably on the book. Wait a minute. I mean, it is Sakura. There it is. Ted Sakura. Really fascinating creator. You should check that out if you get a chance. Apama from Hero Tomorrow Comics.
How do you spell Sakura?
Sikora.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to move on because I'm trying to tag everyone. JD, who you got for us?
All right, we got Gladstone School for Gladstone School for World Conquerors. So think of Harry Potter, but with young, upcoming villains. So their parents are villains, and they get sent, and they send their kids to the school to become future villains.
Who's the creator on that?
This is Mark Andrew Smith. This is what's his Mencken Neko Books, and the artwork in here is incredible looking. I mean, just Mark Andrew Smith is a writer. He hooked up with, what is this? Armand Villavert, Jesse Lamb, and Patrick Broussard. I'm brutalizing all those names, I'm sure, but the artwork in here speaks for itself. It's like really, really good looking stuff. If you like a nice, fun superhero comics, you know, like I said, these kids they're being groomed to be villains, but not really. But it's a lot of fun. These books, there's 3 of them so far. There's 3 hardcovers. I got them all through Kickstarter, but I'm pretty sure if you reach out to him, you can find him on Facebook, and you know he probably has a few copies lying around. So if you want to pick them up, these are great books.
All right, Mike, your turn.
All right. The next one is Zindan. It's artist, another artist that's one of my favorite, and he's not even like really huge, but I think his art is phenomenal. I got it on the wall, some of his art on the wall. But the storyline is, it's not European, so that's why I kind of like it. It's about India in its early dynasty times when they were fighting with Genghis Khan and stuff like that. So it's a different twist on a timeline, because usually when we think about the past, we always go towards the knights of Europe fighting France, fighting England or something like that, fighting over those little continents. But it's like kind of takes you in that time period, but with India fighting over with Asia and stuff like that. So it just gives you a different feel of the same knights that you would find and deal with when you're dealing with the European history kind of thing. So the art is phenomenal as usual. And again, it's like I love stuff that's got a moody feel to it, and it's a different take on the past.
All right, all right, all right. Very, very cool. And I have The Adventures of Byron. And this is kind of cool. I picked this up when I was at Scout headquarters. Got to meet the creator behind it. And it's always nice to see, cool, zany books. I kind of really dig the insides of it. There's a lot of cool art going on, a lot of things that draw your attention instantly. Definitely something I'm happy to have in my collection. I suggest that you go to scout.com and pick up your copy today. And what do you got, Varian?
Oh, I got Pink Lemonade from Nick Cagnetti over there at It's Alive Comics. This was one of the Indiegogo special covers. I got all 4 of them, but you can still pick up the book. Matter of fact, it's actually distributed through Diamond. I mean, it still is, but so you could probably pick it up even at a local comic shop if you can find one that's open, right? But yeah, it's a really good book. Pink Lemonade is a motorcyclist who wants to do the right thing all the time. She is probably the most purest character next to Jesus Christ ever. And so she's really effective. People do bad things and kind of naive, but it's really cool. It's a good book. I think that Nick did a fascinating job with it. He's got issue 2 out right now. Sorry, I got the art way back there, but he's got a really cool art style. Really like it. It's very reminiscent of I can't think of his name right now. That's because I suck. So but yeah, Nick Cagnetti did this. He's got some quotes from David Hahn and John Cassidy and Jamal Ingle on the back. Tina Robbins as well. And yeah, I think that it's I don't know how to spell Nick's last name. You got a problem with that, Rob?
No, go for it.
No, it's Nick Nick Cagnetti is Cagnetti, and he's got variant covers by Jim Rugg and a couple other people. So definitely check it out if you get opportunity. Pink Lemonade issue 2 is out right now.
All right, JD, your turn. What do you got for us to entertain us? Oh wait, you're muted. Hold on.
Oh,
Go ahead. You're good.
okay. We got Gage and the Dragon Tears. This is one I picked up on Kickstarter. So I picked it up because it was illustrated by Donnie H. I'm not going to try to pronounce his name, but he illustrates the entire books. He's done some covers for me, and his artwork is just awesome looking. Does some great looking stuff. There's a Sword and Sorcery book about an assassin. It's the first issue. I'm looking forward to the next one. I actually enjoyed this. I thought I wouldn't, but I actually do. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. This is a great book. Fantastic artwork by Donnie H. And it's Harawajaja. I'm killing it. I've never heard it pronounced, but I'm dying to hear it pronounced properly. But yeah, that's his artwork. Fantastic looking stuff. Great looking book. So I would suggest everyone go out and try to find that one.
Mike, what do you got?
I got Omnipress did a book called Demigod. Ron Mars and Andy Smith, one of the inkers for Bart Sears for years, that did stuff on Marvel and a lot of stuff with DC Comics, came out with their own comic. The whole concept to the comic is it's pretty much a guy who's a slacker who gets the powers of a demigod, and you can, throughout the story, he's like a total slacker, and the whole premise is, in his case, great power comes great irresponsibility. So he does really ridiculous, kind of stupid stuff, but he's got the powers of a god. So that's the tone of it. And again, the art is phenomenal. It's kind of a bright, classic, superhero-y looking book kind of thing. So.
All right, and our boy Varian gave me an idea that maybe I should share some of these screens for the books I have. So my next one was with Trouble with Love. You guys are sleeping on this series. Victor Danger just blown it out. This is part of a bigger series. I wanted to show some of the art so you guys get really feel for it. This actually gave me the feels real bad, and I really well done, super awesome book. I am super thrilled that this is going to be part of the Affinity Gauntlet saga. Victor Danger, super awesome writer. Harold Edge did great stuff with the art. Ryan Carter, colorist, and Jeff Blake, cover colors. Trouble with Love is definitely something you need to own. Get yourself a copy of it today. I'm going to see if, yeah, there he is. Varian's back. Varian, you're in the hot seat. What do you got? You're on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute.
I'm going to show Psychopath from created by Stephanie Menard from Scapegoat Press. Me and Stephanie, I think I told the story before, but Stephanie and I traded books at C4 many years ago, and I thought we had known each other, but we were table neighbors for the first time. She was across from me, and I was looking at her book, and we both did something very similar to our main characters in the book, which instantly we're like, I see you. You're sick and twisted as well. So am I. I like you. So, but Psychopath it's a 4-book series. It's every story is every issue is self-contained, and it's a really good read. And it also makes you question if you should ever get on Stephanie's bad side.
How do you spell Steph's name? I want to tag her in this.
Stephanie Menard is Manard. Her, her Stephanie is Stefani, like Stefani.
There it is. All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Continue the pitch.
Oh, you want to picture this book?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sweet.
So well.
For issue 1, as I recall, this gentleman here was actually having issues with being a guy, being a male. And I can't show some of it, but I guess I can show that. That's not too bad. But he was having issues, and his nurse, his first time having relations went sour. Then he ended up having a nurse who tried to take advantage of him, and he ends up killing everybody. You have to check it out, though. And how he does it is very interesting, and how he the book. I mean, honestly, it seems like an episode of Tales from the Crypt, or just it's really good. It's a really good book. Pick that up, and she's got issue 1, 2, 3, and 4 after that.
All right. So, what's the book of yours that's similar to it? I'll let you tell the title of it.
Oh no, my book that's similar to it is called Catharsis, and it's just that we had our male characters get basically done bad in the story, very badly, intersexual nature too. So I think the Stephanie's is a lot more messed up than mine, though.
Wow. Sorry, I'm gonna quickly change the channel to JD Calder. Save us.
All right. We got Brian Dunham's Airship Enterprise, published by Anthology Press. This is another one I got off of Kickstarter, though. Great looking book. It's steampunk, alternate reality, Star Trek adventure. Great looking artwork in here. We got stuff like that. So this was published by Antarctic. And it's a fun book. And I haven't seen them offer up a second one, but I'm hoping they do come out with a second one. This is a great book. A lot of fun. That book. So you check it out. I'm pretty sure Anthology Press has them up for sale.
I promise I'm not being paid by Scout Comics, even though today's program is brought to you by Scout Comics. No, I'm kidding. A great book, Solar Flare. Actually about our hometown, me and Mike's hometown here in Fort Myers. How could I be on a show and not show love to a place that we're actually from right now? I'm not from. And Mike, you're not from Fort Myers.
No, but you took my book, man. I was
yes.
Soon.
I got a book. There's someone else. I'm up 1. I got there first. Here I go, Solar Flare, and I got the cool variant cover. Do you have the cool variant cover? And
I have one of the original covers
that
he did.
Let's see it. Let's throw it up. We'll let you get some.
One of the original covers that he did.
Oh, my nephew's got that one.
Yeah, that's like his first one when he before Scout. But that one is a Scout one, but he did it before Scout, and we met here in Fort Myers at a comic book store when he was doing a signing.
The free comic book day one?
The what?
The free comic book day one? That's where I met him like 4 or 5 years ago now.
Yeah, but I think I met him even longer than that because he had Solar Flares his first book from a while back, even longer than 5 years ago, I want to say. Yeah, it had to be. I can't even remember when, but it was when that store that is downtown, going towards downtown, that comic book store that's probably gonna disappear soon.
No, I know what you're talking about.
They were on Fowler before, and so back when he was there on Fowler, and I think it might have been Free Comic Book Day too. So he's done quite a few of those though.
All right, so that's both our turns since we shared it, and we're gonna move over to Varian. Varian.
Yeah, I'm bringing back Stephanie. Her other book, Aeonian. I swear she didn't pay me either. The PayPal just clear, Steph. Anyway, so yeah, no, Aeonian is another book by Stephanie, drawn by Stan Yag. Aeonian is about a family that is they've enjoyed living for a very long time, and they're trying to figure out how to make that forever. And it's a really good book. I don't want to give too much of it away, but I want to show you guys this art in here. Phenomenal art. Look at that. Look at that. That's gorgeous. And I love the cover. I've been joking with Steph about just letting me do a large size poster of that. That cover is awesome. Very scary. She has some pins too of like it's just gorgeous. Anyway, yeah, you guys check that out. Aeonian. I believe Steph just moved this over to Rocket Ink, but I'm not sure. But you can Google Aeonian, Aeonian, and check that out.
Since Steph's being mentioned so much, why don't you talk about the big news with Steph?
Oh yeah, Steph's gonna be on Geekgasm for a while. She's gonna be helping with hosting duties. Geekgasm is Lola show. Lola, you've seen as the young lady who came and just took over for a second, sat here and pitched the book.
The show got better.
Yeah. The show got better. She pitched the book from Volt, and which is I don't think she said that was Volt, was it? Yeah, but that was Volt.
So have you figured out what you're doing with your life now that you've been fired from Geekgasm?
You know what? Wednesday nights are gonna be very empty, man. Very empty. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Yeah.
All right, JD, what do you got for us?
All right, we got Argo Comics number 5.
Oh, Dan Shin.
Dan Shin, that's right. He is actually a con buddy of mine. I picked this one up from Kickstarter. Awesome stuff. If you like superhero comics, alternate reality type stuff, this is a great comic. Dan is always out there. He's always producing stuff. This is a great book. So Dan Shin, Argo 5. He's on Facebook, so you can reach out to him and get copies. Great stuff.
All right. I guess that would be. Let's go with Mike this time, so I can't step on his toes. Next book.
All right. The next one is Black and White. It was actually by artist Art T. Bear, who's been an inker for DC and Marvel for like 30-some years, and I've been a big fan of his for a long period of time. And so he actually published his first issue back in the Image days, way back in the day. But he just did a Kickstarter where he revamped everything, added a lot to the story, so it's a little bit thicker, and added, put issues together and stuff that he never finished. He got revised. It's called Black and White. It's an espionage 007 kind of story. The girl is from America and the guy is British. So it's like it plays into everything is black and white in a world where things aren't gray. Things are very gray in the world. I'm messing this up. Things that are very gray in the world, they need something that's more black and white. And these two people come together to solve the issues that come up in the book. So good story, good art, great colors in it, just all around. Art T. Bear, he's got a really good YouTube channel and always putting out new stuff now. And he stopped working with DC the end of last year to get this project out.
Very, very cool. Very cool. And now you guys are going to be noticing a lot of Scout stuff. The Scout's up and coming, and they're great. Here, I want to show you this Tart. Tart is a great thing. It's got time traveling. It's got beautiful ladies that go through different time periods, and the art can even change depending on where you are at. This is so amazing. I'm not ever going to open it. This is something I'm keeping as a pure collector's item for me. I do have other copies of the book that I read through, but that was actually a collector's item I wanted to break out just for the show. I actually dug this out special just to show it off for you guys. So Tart, you can get that over at Scout Comics with some other great stuff. And I do have a little more Scout love to give today, but we're gonna head over to JD this time, and then we'll finish the round with Varian. Wait. You're on mute again. I can't unmute you. You gotta do. There you go.
All right, we got Life Between Panels, the complete Tales Omnibus by Ethan Young. It's a great book. This was actually put out by Dark Horse. So, but I think this is something he did online, and I had never seen it before, and I just saw it, and I looked them up, and I love the pen and ink work in here. It's all black and white, straight pen and ink, nothing fancy. It was a crazy story about an artist and how his creations come to life. So it's a lot of fun, this book. And like I said, it's by Dark Horse, so you should be able to find this real easy. Life Between Panels, the complete Tales Omnibus.
All right, Varian. So do you have anything interesting to show us this round?
I do. Listen, this is breaking with what I usually would suggest. Anybody who watches Indie Vault knows that I am not a fan of newsprint. But I guess I'll let this one go. The War of Worlds, The War of the Worlds from Arrow Comics, The Memphis Front by Mr. Randy Zimmerman is actually a good book. Randy will still sell you this book. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure you can't get it from Arrow right now, but you can definitely pick it up from Randy. He'll make sure you get it. It's a really, really good book. He'll probably give it to you for cheap too. It's marked at $2.95, but we'll see. It's multiple. This is issue 2 right here. So there's 1, 2. I think there's 3 and 4. But it is a black and white book, but the art is very, very solid. Very. So you can definitely follow what's going on here in the book. Randy wrote this. It is a continuation of the War of the Worlds series, where they have come back, the aliens, and they're smarter this time. They know what they're doing, and it's a really good book. I think you guys will want to pick this one up, especially because Randy might have to, get this assembled and release it as a trade. Never know. Get the floppy while it's still there and available.
All right, Varian, you're going to start the next round. What do you got?
Oh, man. Okay. Let's see how hated I want to be. Let's see.
Go hated.
I don't know what books I could bring out.
All of them. This is indie. Show up indie. Fuck the haters.
I've got.
Get froggy with it.
I've got a couple books here. Let's see. I've got Karma from my good friend Chad Gibson and Sinister Undertone over there. Oh my God, what is that? Cyberfrog.
That's an original Cyberfrog.
That's an original Cyberfrog. Yeah, that's an original.
How much did that make recently? Like quarter, or like a million half?
I stopped counting at the 600,000.
Jesus,
I stopped counting. What's just to get off the subject for a second. What's amazing about that is that I know everyone else is like wide-eyed at Todd McFarlane's $2 million. That's $2 million for a toy. I feel the comic book he's throwing in there is secondary. Like, here, take a comic. That what Ethan's doing. That's a comic. That's a comic making money. I mean, the industry is alive. I mean, I hate it or love it, but the industry is alive. And then this is a book. I'll go with this one here though. Doris from my good friend Matthew Thornton, who actually I feel like I discovered Matt when he was a young guy. He came in and this is he was doing a book for me, and we couldn't get the book done because he got caught up to the service before he could really start getting into the book. But he got out. I think he did a couple years in the Navy, but he got out, went to college, art college, learned how to draw officially, and put out this fantastic book. This is if you like sci-fi, space sci-fi, you're gonna love Doris. Once again, I want everyone to look here on this so it can never be said he didn't write this. To Varian, thanks for being the backbone to my success. You see, Rob, this industry needs me. And but no, this is a fantastic book. I love the artwork in here, as well as the fact that Matt, who again is a an artist. So I take total credit for it. Nobody ever gives me credit for the good. What's that about? I don't understand. I hire somebody who wants to be an asshole. I get labeled with them for years. I find somebody who's talented and good. No one gives me credit. It's BS. But this book is good. Pick this book up, Doris. Contact Matt Thornton. You can follow him at Doris Doris the comic on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Follow the man. Pick up the book. This is issue 1.5. Issue I think the other half is out now. I am pretty sure it is. Yeah, pick that up. Pick it up. Tell Variant sent you.
All right, JD. Let's follow through because we're running up to just to be about an hour anyway. Let's do a speed round. What did you have left that you wanted to show today?
I ran through pretty much everything, but I did find one last one. This is a Mystery Meat, very strange book by my good buddy Mike the Bush. Some crazy artwork. It's a horror story.
I'm hungry and turned on.
Oh yeah, it'll. I don't know if after you read it, you might not be so hungry, but it is a very interesting book. It's very weird if you like horror. Mystery Meat, Mike the Bush, and I think the writers are Cody Goodfellow. So fun stuff. Especially if you like horror, very strange, horror. Great book though.
All right, same thing, Mike. What do you have left? Let's do a speed round.
I have to shout out Andreas the Shepherd.
Oh, son of a! All right.
Yeah, I'm published in two of the graphic novels that he did. The stories are phenomenal. It's not only like the story's original, but I love the fact that I think it's the second volume that it literally changes. Artist style changes because of the time period it's in. Because it jumps different time periods and the whole feel of the book changes. And it's like, I love those things when it's a different tone and you just where you are in the timeline because of the style of the book. He's an amazing writer and has a lot of stuff that he does with Caliber Press. He's an editor, and I just wanted to shout out Andreas. His artists, he always handpicks his artists, and they do a phenomenal job. And I'm published in it, so it makes me feel like I have a part of it. So,
what else you got? Anything else for today before we end the show?
The only other one is I pretty much had was Samson the Nazarite. I mean, we know the story about that in the script Bible and stuff like that, and it's like they kind of take that and bring it to life.
No Advocator, no Cat Dad and Supermom. I'm heartbroken.
I have Advocator. And you know why I don't have Cat Dad and Supermom with me? Because it's in the living room because I've been working on that cover.
Are you working on?
Bring that up.
Do you want to show off what you're working on then?
Yeah, I can actually show you. It's on the iPad. Let me pull it up.
Oh, you guys are gonna get something exclusive. We're so close to getting there.
This is the new what do you want to call this? The variant cover. This is the variant cover I'm working on for Cat Dad Supermom. And this one has pretty much been approved by Mr. Anderson. So a few tweaks I want to do to it because I'm kind of trying to be perfectionist on it because it's a few things with stuff.
Well, we need $6, and that's yours, guys. You can get that on the Kickstarter.
That's going to be what the extension, like added cover or something like that.
Yeah, and all the added covers will only be added. Anyone can get them for an extra $5. We're not going to rip anyone off. These aren't limited exclusives. These are just because kids like choices. And then especially if you have the reason we're doing this, the all covers for Cat Dad, is we had some issue with kids where they were fighting over which copy was theirs. And for the parents, he was like, I don't even remember which one of you had it. So I thought, let me get an all cover. And I was talking to Mike about it. Mike's like, I'll do one. And I was like, hell yeah. So there you go. You guys are getting a first look.
I kind of want a screenshot me holding it up before you take it off the screen.
I can do it for you. Hold it.
All right.
I'm going to do it. And Varian, while we're doing this screenshot, you can try to explain to us all why you haven't backed Cat Dad right now. I want to know. All right. I cut out the live, but go ahead. Hold on. Go back. I want to take it out. Smile this way. There it is. Perfect. I got it. There we go.
All right.
So, Varian, any questions? Any comments about your hate for children's and all ages books? You're muted, so everything you're saying doesn't matter.
I'm allergic to cats. I understand that there is some abuse to the cat in the comic. Cat Dad gets hit several times, much more than Supermom, and I just feel it's abuse toward animals.
I think the potato gets it the worst.
This is what happens when you don't read a book. You don't know what's inside of it.
I mean,
read a book before you review it.
Rob. I know about your books, Rob.
All right, we're muting him before he says some dumb shit. That's going to go down a dark alley. I know it already.
If I had to do my speed round, though, Kinetic from Bill Colon. He's got like 8 issues of this out. Pick that up. That's the trade. Pick that up. You guys see Cyberfrog, the old series. Check that out. Karma from Sinister Undertone. This is I think this is 2 issues, 2 or 3 issues worth, and these books are all numbered. This is number 215 of 1,000. So his books are all individually numbered. I love that chromium cover on there. That's pretty cool. And the whole team signed that book. And then, of course, when I say I started making books in 2008, there's a reprint of one of those books, Psycho Sirens. Just recently reprinted for Last Call Comics, just so people can get a hold of that book.
All right. Now I'll do my quick speed round, then we'll take a moment from our sponsor. But all right, so here we go. First, remember I told you about the Tart graphic novel? I actually did have it out and ready. So let's do some cool comics. All right, we're gonna do them fast. We got Philippe Cagneau and The Few and the Cursed. Look at that. Great Collectors One, New York Comic Con exclusive. Some Nikolai Volkov, another unfortunate death in recent years that we had, but we can still memorialize him. Star Bastard, it's a throwback book from a while ago. I actually haven't even gotten to read this yet, but I found it and I wanted to actually check it out. It is by Andrew Clemson and Jethro Morales. We have Tits, Trans-Interdimensional Taxi Cab Service. Great book, actually. I've read these. They're funny. They're interesting. They're by the Sorellis brothers. Very good creators. Look what I found, just off topic, just being a fan. Batman and Spawn. That is.
I got that copy. I feel like everybody's got that. Huh?
Yeah, you have to. It's like it's a quintessential nerd. All right, we got the Ogre. I always say this wrong. I think it's Ogres, but
Ogre, yeah.
Yeah. Great thing. This is from we won't mention from who, but Bob Sally is the creator of it. We won't mention who's distributing it because they're in some trouble lately with the people they're putting on camera, and I don't want to be part of that controversy. No, thank you. And we got the Lucha Mysteries. Some shout out to some friends. The Couch. This is David Byrne's graphic novel. Really interesting, cool little stuff on the front there.
I got a couch blank.
The Shadow Play. This is by Richard Rivera, who's going to be the last thing I show today. Our good friend. See how many books I have? And this isn't even me trying, guys. This is by my good friend. I'm trying to remember. Joel Rodriguez. I forgot his artist's first name. His last name's Gutspeed, but he does a great thing. Just got off a Kickstarter actually recently. Travis Gibbs broke down in 4 Dead Bodies. Check that out. Really cool series. I think he's going to be on issue 5 by the end of the year. I got some more Shadow Play for you guys. Check that out. And what's that at the end of Shadow Play? It's Wretches! I swear I'm not getting paid by Scout. This is the first release by Scout. This is great. I was in this with this creator, James E. Roche. We worked together in The Fourth Monkey, so I known him a long time. Great creator. And I got not only 1, but 2. And I was going to go to Scout to get the next one, but then the world went crazy. And then finally, and we're going to end here because we're just over an hour. And then we're going to hit some stuff, and then we'll come back to say goodbye. Emmett's Story. Honestly, when I won IP of the Year last year, I was actually hoping that this would win over us for Cat Dad and Supermom. Beautiful book. Just an amazing thing. I was disappointed that it didn't get more awards than it got last year. Just beautiful. If you haven't read it, it is compelling. It is one of the best books made in 2019, and that's someone who got who's speaking of the IP. It did pick up an award for Creator of the Year for Richard, so super thrilled about that. Just you got to pick it up. And I got all the different covers because some of this went to the Matthew Shepard. I even got a special signature one, a very rare one that had some intimate signatures that I'm not going to share with everyone else in the world today, because that's between me and the creators, and it was an awesome thing. I want to thank you all for being here today, the creators who spent their time today promoting other people. So we're going to watch a video, come back, and they're going to say goodbye because I want the last thing to be their thing. And the reason we're doing a video is because it's my video. This is how I'm saying goodbye to you. As a creator, I have something on Kickstarter, so I'm going to promote the crap out of it. I'm going to get you all convinced to back it. I already got JD. I just need, I think, Mike, you even backed it, even though you're
I backed it.
So there's just
can I say something real quick about, like, do you have an Instagram for Cat Dad?
No, I should. I think I should create it.
You should, because I kind of want to tag my the cover on there and kind of promote it, and you can put a link on there as far as Kickstarter on the actual Instagram to kind of just get more people back. Yeah,
fair. Just because I'm not an.
We'll talk about it later. Yeah. But it's very visual, and you got plenty to show. Yeah,
and of course, Varian's the only one who didn't back Cat Dad, so. Just, send him all the awkward looks. Even $1 matters, Varian. I'm just saying, $1. I know you got that stimulus check because you're back in that dead guy's project who doesn't need any money because he's dead.
And you got kids too, right?
I barely. He's I barely know him. He's around here somewhere.
All right.
You got that money from him for him.
Yeah.
Take $1 from that, put it in my campaign. No, kidding around aside, seriously. If this video doesn't win you over, there's nothing I can do to win you over.
An all-ages tale that teaches morals with farts and shows the power of imagination that will entertain everyone in your family, including the parents reading the book. Thank you for hitting play and allowing us to introduce you to Cat Dad and Supermom, the award-winning Farts with Morals storytelling awesome adventure that people seem to love. And we could keep going that way. We could use words that could try to get you to be excited and convinced to buy it, but I'd rather just be honest with you. I'd rather be humble with you and tell you why I created the story. You see that little boy over my shoulder, right over there, and the other side, the Supermom, and the big elephant that farts? All of that is based on my boy. He's a special needs 5-year-old who I love with all my heart. And he has made me a better man and has taught me what unconditional love is. So if this story is about him, the standard had to be higher. That's why I got one of the best artists in the world in Raheel Mohsin. I got Chuck Pino, who has done such great work as an editor and as a writer himself, to be part of this. Both of them became co-creators because of how much passion went into this. It was about passion for creating a top-notch story that was meant to entertain your entire family, and I think we did that. The rest, they're all keywords. They're all ways to convince you to do it. Truthfully, this is a story that matters to me, and it had to be one of the best stories that I wanted to share with you. It advocates for people who get bullied, and it advocates for the right things to do when you see someone get bullied. It advocates for being a better human being, but it also represents my son. And because of that standard, because of the fact that my son is in this book, it had to be one of the best things I could create, probably in my entire career. Anytime my son is attached to something, it is that high of a standard for me. So if you're looking for a reason to back this Kickstarter, it's because, well, because I love my son, and I wouldn't put anything out with his name on it that wasn't amazing. Thank you for watching, sharing, and backing Cat Dad and Supermom, and Ella Fart never forgets.
I still love that end when you can hear Jax. He's actually in the background right now making the same sound. So I was like, that kid's crazy. Speaking of crazy, let's start with Varian. You crazy wild devil, you. Where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at KYD_V. That cesspool over there, that is Twitter. I'm on it right now. Last Call Comics is my publishing company that I co-own. LastCallComics.com and all social medias. Just look up Last Call Comics. You'll find us. And then I am the founder of IndieVolt.com, IndieVolt Radio, and IndieVolt TV. You can check all those out. I'll just look up IndieVolt on social media. You'll find us some way. Facebook as well. And I'm open to talk about comics or help promote comics at any time. Me and Rob got that in common. We like to talk about promoting people's books, what books we actually enjoy, and trying to grow this industry.
Yep. Amen to that. Amen to that. JD, how can you be found on the interwebs?
Very easily. I'm on Facebook under JD Calderon. I can also be found through my website, theoswaldchronicles.com or talltalesonline.com or dreamweaverpress.com. So either one of those. I'm on Twitter under JD Calderon, and I'm on Instagram under JD Calderon. So that's where I'm at.
All right. And Mike, tell them where they can find you. And tell them about that Instagram, since I'm going to be setting up a special Cat Dad one.
Yeah, so my Instagram is Mike_MJS. You look for the guy with the fedora on. Trying to think he looks like he's fedorable, but anyways, that, and also my website is MikeSeeley.com. Has a little idea, tells my background as far as my art and what I've done, from logo designs to comic book art to some even painting a little bit. So I try to switch gears in my art and create in different ways and stuff like that. So yeah, find me in MikeSeeley.com or Instagram Mike_MJS art.
And you're going to be on Kickstarter basically tomorrow with this cover, because we're going to get to that first stretch goal. So how do you feel about being on a cover for a book?
It feels good.
Cover,
It's a good feeling. It was exciting to do. I've been a big fan of this that actual comic for a while, because I picked it up and I read it and I just love the feeling of it. And I actually promoted it when I've had my own table, because I've had parents or even aunts of other people say they had issues with bullying for their kids or their grandkids or something like that, and I've sent them over to your table and stuff like that, because it just hits perfect for the age group from even, I would say, 6 to all the way up to 15, 16, 17 kind of thing. And overall, it was a actually fun read, and I was thoroughly not surprised, but excited by what I read. I was, in that sense, where I get used to reading more mature stuff or comic book stuff. So when you read something that's light and still easy to read and fun, it's good. So.
All right. And look, everybody who wasn't on this show today, it's easy to throw comics on the floor and take pictures. It's harder to stand up for them and talk about them. So you want a real challenge? Get off your ass, get on a camera, stop talking about Superman movies and start talking about the indie comics you own, and get people to understand that the pencil has not gone down for indie comics. We're still creating. Guys like Mike is just making a cover coming out now. Varian's still got Last Call Comics. JD's on Indiegogo right now, showing you that indie comics hasn't stopped. Back Cat Dad and Supermom, again on Kickstarter. Books being made. It hasn't stopped. Thank you for tuning in. Go out and make your own damn video about all the awesome indie books you own. And trust me, I can do 5 more of these. This is just the tip of the iceberg of the books I own. So maybe we'll see you next week. Do this again, proving everyone else that we don't throw comics on the floor. We read them and talk about them. We'll catch you at the next show at 4 p.m.
Are we live, or did he just disappear?
I don't know. He just dumped out.
He maybe they hit the wrong button.
Maybe he had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Talk about weird. Like I hit the end button and it kicked me out, and I was like, I guess they don't want the show to end.
Make sure all you creators who are angry at Rob send that hate mail to Rob. By the way.
Oh, no one's gonna be hating on me. They're gonna love me today because I did everything. Now, if you hate Cyber Fraud, well, before we go, if you want to send that hate mail to somewhere, no, not Rising Tide. That's
you're right. Send it to Rising Tide. That's great.
Yeah, send it. Brian didn't show up today.
Yeah.
So send it to Brian.
Send it over to Brian. Send it over to Brian and Larry Higgins. All the hate mail.
All the hate mail. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Let's see if this time it works. It's just like my shirt. I have issues. And I don't feel like being an adult today. See you all later.
All right.